For our next problem, we're asked to answer some questions about an average cost function for a company. We have a company that's planning to manufacture portable satellite radio players. We know the fixed monthly cost will be $300,000 and it will cost $10 to produce each player. In part A, we want to write the average cost function of producing X players. Well, the average cost function, C bar, can be found by finding the cost function first and then dividing it by X, the number being produced. So let's first start with the cost function C of X. Well, the cost function is made up of a fixed cost, which is $300,000 monthly, plus a variable cost, which in this case is $10 for each player produced. So we can write that as 10 times X. Now, the average cost function, C bar of X, will just be equal to the cost function, 300,000 plus 10X, all divided by X. Now in part B, what is the horizontal asymptote for the graph of this function, and what does it represent? Well, remember, anytime we find the horizontal asymptote, we simply compare the degree of the numerator with the degree of the denominator. In this case, the degrees are the same. They're both 1 since x is to the first power. So we look at the coefficient in the numerator, which is 10, and the coefficient in the denominator, which is 1. So we can say that the horizontal asymptote is simply y equals 10 over 1, or y equals 10. Now the question is, what does this represent? Well, before I answer that question, let's just investigate the average cost function a little bit more. Let's say we want to define the average cost, C bar of X, when X is equal to 1,000. So let's find the average cost of producing, say, 1,000 of these portable satellite radio players. If we substitute 1,000 in here and calculate it, we'll get a cost of $310. Let's increase that number and say, let's find the average cost when we're producing 10,000 of these players. If we calculate that amount, we see that our cost goes dramatically down to $40 for each radio produced. Let's look at one more. Let's look at C bar of, say, 100,000. So if we calculate the average cost of producing 100,000 of these players, the cost goes down now to only $13 per player. So what's happening, you can see, the more we produce, the closer and closer the average cost value is getting to that number 10. So the horizontal asymptote means that the more players produced each month, the closer the average cost per radio for the company comes to $10. And I'll write that down. I'll abbreviate. The horizontal asymptote means that the more players produced, the closer the average cost is to $10.